This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
South today, that street in Wales may be technically steeper, but Steadfast Dunedin surveyors are determined to retain the accolade for Baldwin Street. It can be pretty tough to find beauty in the world sometimes, according to a Queenstown resident determined to make the world a better place. And the James Cameron Titanic exhibition is creating waves at Otago Museum. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. That street in Wales may be technically steeper, but Steadfast Dunedin surveyors are determined to retain the accolade for Baldwin Street. Survey teams were on the former world's steepest street yesterday and are employing the highest technology available for the battle.
Using lasers and hoping to prove a finer point. Global Survey New Zealand technical specialist Lennon Bedford taking the most accurate measurements of Baldwin Street so far.
So a very rich data set of millions of points with very accurate XYZ coordinates on them. And we can use software to extract a very accurate and detailed surface model of the street.
They're using a Leica 3D laser scanner, which both Bedford and campaigning surveyor Toby Stoff say is the surveying equivalent of pulling out the big guns.
Within a couple of millimetres, and X, Y and Z. So in 3D, extremely accurate.
Yeah, the Leica P40 scanner, it's the best in the business. We're going to scan it with millions of points. Pretty much this is irrefutable.
The Leica P40 is generally used to create topographical surveys for engineering projects. Once the data is analysed, they'll know exactly how steep the street is within 1 or 2 millimetres. Toby Stoff says the idea to measure and hopefully reclaim Baldwin Street's title began with the simplest approach to the media.
It was going to be a letter to the editor, and then Tim got a hold of it and says, oh, hang on a sec, let's just make some phone calls. And then before you know it, we're on the radio, we're on the TV, and people just seemed interested in it. And so I just seem to have inherited it, I guess, but happy to do so. I think, yeah, if we could make something happen out of it, it would be good.
The campaign hopes to reinforce Stoff's assertion that when both Baldwin Street and Field Plain Lech are measured in the same way, the North Dunedin Street will be the steepest. He says fundraising to get to Wales with fellow surveys is going well.
And then what we do is then we're going to have to get over to Wales, do this exercise in Wales, do a survey, traditional survey, then a scan, and then we need to work with that data and work on presenting a good picture.
Stoff is pretty certain when the same methodology is applied to both streets, Baldwin Street will once again be the world's steepest. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Police raided a Dunedin property as part of a major nationwide drug bust yesterday morning. That netted a treasure trove of luxury goods, a massive haul of cash and 10 arrests. The operation saw more than 150 police executed search warrants on 17 properties across New Zealand. The bust was part of a long-running investigation into the supply and distribution of methamphetamine and associated money laundering. 10 people were arrested, with cash and assets being seized, including a bevy of high-end cars. Police say one person in Dunedin was arrested and a vehicle was impounded. More arrests are still possible. A property on Royal Terrace, central Dunedin, was visited by police, and they also searched a car in Clyde Street in North Dunedin, which was later towed away. Police confirmed both scenes were linked to the meth bust. It can be pretty tough to find beauty in the world sometimes. That's the conclusion of Queenstown resident Jordan Ramson, who wants to make the world a better place by sharing stories of inspiration as told by interesting people.
I think Queenstown's a really special place in that it's almost impossible to be here and not be reminded of the beauty of nature, and that, you know, there are beautiful things around us all the time just waiting for us to get out there and notice them and experience them.
Queenstown busker AJ, seen here in the first video on the Facebook page, The Human Project. The brainchild of Jordan Ramson, the idea for the Facebook page came to him when he was doing a video about the local pianist, just for something to do.
As I was sort of making the video, he said something in the video that was really amazing, and he said, there are beautiful things all around us, you just have to take the time to notice them. And that sort of stuck with me, and I was like, damn, AJ, that's a really good thing to say. That's so true.
This first video has already received 16,000 views on the Human Project's Facebook page. And now the former Aucklander wants to share more stories of inspiration with the world, starting right here in the resort.
I came to Queenstown and I was like, man, if there's any place to find interesting people with cool stories to tell, it's going to be here. So I think Queenstown is the perfect place to start the Human Project story.
The idea is to feature interesting humans from any walks of life to tell their story in a way that might inspire and motivate others. However, he says the deluge of digital information these days makes it hard to find the gems, such as this philosophical pianist.
Over the past 6 months, I've realised it's not the easiest to actually find that sort of thing out there in the world at the moment. Even though we've got like 1 million messages coming to us every single day, it's kind of hard to pick out the ones that inspire and motivate you.
His long-term goal is to have donations finance the Human Project through crowdfunding.
And that'll allow myself and then hopefully eventually like a team of people to travel around the world to find nominations or interesting people in all corners of the globe, something that would be really exciting and really make it more of a community-based project.
The public can message nominations for people to feature in the videos through the project's Facebook page. In Queenstown, the South Today.
The Met Service is predicting snow could fall to low levels in parts of the South Island this weekend. However, in a severe weather outlook, the Met Service stressed there was some uncertainty about what severe weather a broad, slow-moving front will bring. The service has low confidence the front would bring heavy snow above 400 metres in flurries to low levels in eastern Marlborough, Canterbury and North Otago. Snow was also possible on Saturday about the hills in Queenstown, Dunedin and Wanaka. The James Cameron Challenging the Deep exhibition continues to draw crowds to Otago Museum. Dunedin is the first city to host the travelling exhibition after its successful launch in Sydney earlier this year. Museum staff say the huge scale of the show was a challenge to get up and running in time for last month's opening.
A scale replica of half the Titanic lying wrecked almost 4 kilometres below the ocean. The Otago Museum exhibition, Challenging the Deep, brings together elements from film director James Cameron's diving expeditions and his explorations of the wreck of Titanic. Exhibitions designer Shania Allen says the exhibition was on a bigger scale than what they usually deal with.
We had 4 shipping containers to get all the sort of screens and lights and objects and cases into the building, so that was a huge job for us and took many days.
Setting up this amount of lighting and screens was something the team at Otago Museum had never done before.
It's quite a theatrical, immersive exhibition, so we worked with many companies that helped develop the exhibition in Sydney. So working with them has been really good for the team and we've learnt a lot, and it's been a huge learning curve.
The exhibition includes props from the movie and a replica of Cameron's diving module, which is actually slightly larger than the one the director had to squeeze in while exploring some of the deepest spots in the world's oceans. And the venue is illuminated to suggest being deep under the ocean, with the Dunedin company involved with the lighting.
During the install we worked with Luscious, which is a Sydney company, and they were part of the team who really helped bring this to life. They cut the films, did the music and the lighting, so they came over and worked with us closely with Southern Lights in Dunedin to create the atmosphere that you see in the exhibition, which was challenging but really fun.
While they had to act quickly to be the first museum after Sydney to show the exhibition, Allen says it was important to have some time for tweaking the displays before opening to the public.
We gave ourselves a couple of weeks to have the show up and running and make sure the technical elements were working, and it's sort of not many hitches, which was pretty good.
James Cameron Challenging the Deep runs until February next year, after which it will travel to Britain. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, we check out the musical collective Pacific Underground, taking us on a trip down memory lane to the 1990s. So see you after the break.
Alex Campbell Menswear, we bring you the best value. We have bought a massive selection of moleskins and we're passing on the savings to you. Buy one pair, save $25. Buy two, save $60, and we've got a great deal on our knitwear. Look at it all, 25% off all our knitwear. And to go with the knitwear, what about a nice warm shirt? These are 25% off too. And while we're doing the 25% off, what about on the jackets? 25% off them as well.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So check us out for massive savings this winter.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Welcome back. The musical collective Pacific Underground has brought back the 1990s with a reunion show last weekend. Starting out as a holiday program based in Cathedral Square, the group brought Pacifica culture and identity to the forefront of Canterbury theatre, music, stage and in the clubs. We bring part two of our look at this influential collective.
Pacific Underground's influence wasn't just in theatre. Through the holiday program, they mentored up-and-coming young artists like Lady Six, alongside a new generation of club DJs.
I went to a holiday program there when I was about 16. I was just a young guy. That's why I'm always be the young guy. I remember Oscar actually. He didn't trick me into coming to it because he goes, "Why don't you come to the Pacific Underground holiday program?" And I was like, "I'm not Pacific Islander." And he goes, Oscar being the comedian goes, "Well, you live in South Island, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "That's an island, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "And it's in the Pacific Ocean, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You're a Pacific Islander." And I was like, "I am a Pacific Islander." Okay, and so I came along, and that was my first introduction to Pacific Underground. I was a bit lost. I had identity issues. I'm Māori and I'm white, but I didn't really grow up in my Māori culture. That first day I went to that that holiday program at Pacific Underground, that first one, I became Pacific Underground family and have never not been family since then. So it's that easy. It's not like, you know, you have to get initiated or anything. It's just like, oh yeah, you like this? Cool. You wanna hang out with us? Cool. Stay here, your family.
It was cool. So the program would run during the day, and then the ones that are running the program would come up to my club and celebrate.
This guy is the godfather of Christchurch DJing. He came over from Australia and literally bought DJing, said, hey you guys, here's DJing, and everyone went, thanks, and then taught everyone else from the lineage. So I technically learned how to DJ from Chris, but didn't learn to DJ. He taught Greg Churchill, who taught Andrew Cummings, who taught me. So it's kind of like his fault. It was your fault.
It was a link.
When it was happening, it was just fun, and what we loved doing. But when I look back, it's the way it was connected is so, like, it wasn't just one person who did one thing and it started it all kind of like Cool Herc in New York starting hip hop. It was Chris coming with his DJing, Tanya and Poss, and the Worcester Bar, Dan's Nightclub, Romanovs.
With Pacifica culture and identity now showcased on stage and in the clubs, Pacific Underground turned its attention to providing platforms for other creatives to display their work with the Pacific Arts Festival.
So everything is all blocked off?
Yeah, I think we can go through the clock tower though.
Wow, it looks smaller in here.
So we had all our stalls all along here.
All along around here.
The first year we had our stage there, and then first 3 years, and then we had it over there. It does look small when there's not much in here, but when it's full, it's pretty good. And so from 2001 to 2010, we did this crazy festival.
My grandmother died.
That's the 8th one this year.
We come from big extended families.
Just having Polynesians actually doing their thing and that are good at it and being recognised, and in Christchurch, especially at the Arts Centre, opening it up for people to come without any fear. And after doing one, went on to 2 and then 3, and each year it just grew and it grew and it grew. To me, I think it just opened up a lot of eyes and brains, really.
Pacific Underground will perform at the Town Hall on August 3, and while not all the crew will be there, it will be a show honouring all those who have been a part of it.
I reckon good luck, guys, and
just go for it.
Break a leg, everyone. You know, like it'll be fine on the night. Later. You know, we'll have popcorn after, some sapsui, some koko laisa.
After the break on the South Today, we met a couple of Central Otago women inspiring youngsters to get outdoors, and we have a look at the weather heading into the weekend, so stay with us.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. For a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
At Alex Campbell Menswear, we bring you the best value. We have bought a massive selection of moleskins and we're passing on the savings to you. Buy one pair, save $25. Buy two, save $60, and we've a great deal on our knitwear. Look at it all, 25% off all our knitwear. And to go with the knitwear, what about a nice warm shirt? These are 25% off too. And while we're doing the 25% off, what about on the jackets? 25% off them as well.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So check us out for massive savings this winter.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Thanks for staying with us. A pair of Central Otago women have begun a venture aimed at encouraging young women to get out into the great outdoors, with activities set to include hiking and mountain biking.
Journeys is a new Central Otago initiative which aims to encourage young women to enjoy the great outdoors.
Adventuring in the outdoors is a great way to build self-confidence and resilience, and we want to enhance this in young girls in our community.
Her fellow Journeys co-founder Megan Longman says it's about providing strong female guides across a range of outdoor activities.
We want to connect with them and adventure together locally with strong female role models. We get physically active and negotiate unfamiliar challenges and see where that takes us.
They say as part of the Journeys program, they'll be teaching the young women about navigating, cross-country walking and cycling. And they're hoping to connect with more active women in the Central Otago community who can also inspire the youngsters. In Alexandra, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. That street in Wales may be technically steeper, but Steadfast Dunedin surveyors are determined to retain the accolade for Baldwin Street. It can be pretty tough to find beauty in the world sometimes, according to a Queenstown resident determined to make the world a better place. And the James Cameron Titanic exhibition is creating waves at Otago Museum, as it is already a huge event for all involved. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome Hayden Meikle, what have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Good evening Mel. Well, we start with some really concerning news in the world of wildlife, which of course is such a huge part of Dunedin and the broader south. And it's about penguins, and it's not good. Yellow-eyed penguins, our beloved hoi-hoi, some leading scientists and conservationists are saying literally they could be extinct from the New Zealand mainland in 10 years.
That's not good news at all.
That is terrible news. There was an initial warning of sort of a 40-50 year thing. They're saying now the recovery has started so late, they've had so many bad breeding seasons, there are food shortages, disease, all sorts of stuff. Big news. There's going to be an awful lot of interest, and I expect we'll have a lot more about this in the coming weeks and months. There are a huge part of this region, our penguins. They're not quite as cool as the little penguins in Oamaru, obviously, but they're
still, yeah.
They're still great. So yeah, big story for animal lovers. Big story for the people in Central Otago. The Queenstown and Wanaka Airport saga rolls on. A big development today. The Queenstown Lakes District Council sort of putting a brake on things, saying they wanted to pause the proposed expansion until they found out more about the cultural, social, economic impacts. So big news for people up there. And more big news, it feels like a strange Thursday with so much big news, but beach erosion, an ongoing issue obviously for sort of the Kettle Park, St Clair, St Kilda areas. We've got the very latest on just how much has eroded this week. There's been some more erosion this week. Forecast for some rough weather coming. So Chris Morris, our reporter, is on that story, and there'll be the full updates tomorrow. And sport, we better have a little bit of sport in there. Well, believe it or not, Mel, and I know you'll be very excited about this.
I'm sure I will be.
The Mitre 10 Cup, what we used to know as the NPC, starts tonight in Invercargill. And I don't say this very often, but go the Stags.
Wonderful. Well, you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. Thank you, Hayden. And now it's time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Today's southern view is of a gas flame burning brightly over South Dunedin this morning. Looking at the situation, a trough of low pressure will move on to the South Island tomorrow night with increasing cloud and a few showers tomorrow. Looking at periods of rain on Saturday and snow above 200 metres inland, cold temperatures and easterly winds are set to arrive for a few days. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect rain and 13 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim are due for a cloudy day and 15. Moving down to Canterbury, Kaikoura should be cloudy and 14, Christchurch a few clouds and 13, and Ashburton you're also expecting clouds and 12 degrees. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns, light northeasterlies with increasing cloud and a high of 8 or 9 along the coast at Balclutha and the Catlins. Lumsden and Gore you have moderate easterlies with a few showers and a high of 7. Travelling westward to the Central Lakes, Wanaka planned for light winds, snow later and 6. Queenstown light winds, snow later for you as well and 5. Alexandria you're the warmest in the region with light winds, rain later and 8. And Te Anau you should have moderate easterlies, a few showers with a high of 7. Looking at the northern towns along the coast, Timaru and Oamaru can expect light winds with cloud increasing and a high of 13. Further inland, Twizel and Amarama you're set for light winds with snow later on and a high of 7. In Dunedin, it will be mostly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 5. Expect a few sunny periods at first tomorrow, then turning overcast with light showers during the afternoon, clearing to a cloudy evening with moderate southerlies developing, a high of 10 and a low of 5. Now Saturday brings periods of rain with snow above 300 metres and fresh northeasterlies, a high of just 6 and a chilly low of 4. And moving to Invercargill, expect clouds with an overnight low of 7. It should be overcast tomorrow with light showers at times and moderate northeasterlies. Rain will set in tomorrow night with a high of 9 and a low of 5. Expect cloudy skies on Saturday with periods of rain and gusty cold easterlies, a high of 6 and a chilly low of 4. And that's all from the South Today team this Thursday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.